Did you know that someone had to prove that you're homeless to get into a homeless shelter? I didn't know that. They have to watch you for a period of time to verify that you actually are homeless. They have to find you in a particular place during particular times to actually prove that you're homeless, so that way you can go through the process of maybe getting into a shelter. That's interesting, isn't it, if you didn't know that? And then, of course, once you get into a shelter, well, what is that like? Well, any prison movie you've ever seen in your life is pretty close to it, except you are allowed out, which I guess you could call, work privileges, I guess you can say. And you have a curfew, you have to be back by 9 p.m. typically, okay? 3 square meals a day. If you don't have no extra cash and you missed a meal, you're not eating. And they tell you, pretty much when to wake up, tell you when to go to sleep. So it's kind of like prison, I guess. It's not an ideal situation to ever want to, you ever want yourself to be in. That's for sure. And a lot of people are a check away from it. One paycheck away from someone trying to verify whether or not they have a place to stay or not, because they are on the street. They are living out of their car because one check was the job didn't pay them. The job didn't pay them on time. They had bills. The bills didn't get paid. They were already being threatened with eviction. They didn't get the money. And all of a sudden they're out on the street because somebody didn't want to give them another chance. There are millions of people that are just that close to losing everything based on one check, one payment, one pay period. If you're not prepared for the worst case scenario, then what are you really doing? What are you doing every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every year? If one check, if you think about it, if you missed one check, one pay period, if you get sick and you don't have any more sick days, what's going to happen to you and what's going to happen to everybody who you're responsible for is the better question. Or it doesn't matter. For a lot of people, it doesn't matter. They do not care. But if you're someone who cares, then what do you do? Or can you do anything? Are you just going to be always under the gun? Are you always going to be in a position where you're looking over your shoulder and just hoping that they don't see you? And you do just enough work to get by, to make sure you get just enough to pay your bills, and you do it for another 30 days. And then 10 years go by. That's not how it's supposed to work. It really isn't. And it's something that, if that is what you're going through, you need to consider if there is an option to do something different.